Check out the Male Advantage paperback, ebook, and audiobook using the links below. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about the kind of value switch that can occur between men and women just from it's a very simple mindset switch. But it's not just mindset. Of course, there's a lot of work that's going to have to go into this. There's an element of maturity, some level of experience with women, but it mainly stems from the singular mindset switch that you're going to deploy post this video, okay? And by not even being in the position that I'm going to promote you guys to be in, you can still deploy this mindset because you're working towards something. So, once you've got clarity on what it is, you can figure that path out for yourself, okay? But I've often said on this channel that men chase women because, let's be honest, right? They kind of are the prize in the early days. Like, how can they not be? Let's say you're like a 21-year-old guy, haven't really got a decent job, you're just working part-time somewhere, trying to get your money up, you're not really in the shape you want to be in, you haven't got any assets, it's not like you own a big holiday home or like you're inviting her on go on a date with me. Where are we going to go? McDonald's? Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be lavish. It's not going to be enjoyable. She's probably seen it all before. It's kind of boring, right? It's kind of a dead date. So, by adding her to your life, a pretty woman, nice body, youthful, exclusive mating rights, good genes, whatever. Like, you're winning there, okay? Bragging rights, etc. People always get it confused by saying, women aren't the prize, you're the prize. Let's put some context on that shit, because that's blasé TikTok 50-second shit. That's terrible. But in that sense, she is the prize. Like, every woman up to the age of... But until I was like 27, every woman that I met, she was the prize. I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? Maybe even 28. Like, she was probably the prize. Probably 27, maybe 26. But 26, 27, I got a really good job at that time. Had a ton of money invested in crypto. Like, I was putting things together. I was in the gym, etc. Yeah, maybe up to that point. But that's quite a late age. For somebody who is ambitious, who was working on himself, etc. Like, I would have considered myself as like maybe the top 10% of guys just on work ethic alone. That kind of, like, I was headed towards the top 10, 5%, even back when I wasn't there. Do you know if that makes sense, guys? Just based on ambition and, potential where I could go. So if it took me that long, well, then the majority of guys are in a position where the woman is the prize. Okay? Now, when you start working on yourself and you start putting things in place, let's say, may it be, a business, it might be a really good high-paying job, it's very likely going to be things like assets and whatnot. It's going to be cars, houses, whatever, holiday home, a certain lifestyle that you love, that you don't want somebody coming in and disrupting, right? You don't want somebody messing up your shit, and now you go to work at your 9-to-5 job and you're not as prepared as you usually are. You're slacking. You used to do work on weekends, so by the time you came in on Monday, you were excelling and you were moving up that corporate ladder. There's so many examples. It could be business. You were focused. You were disciplined, and somebody comes into your life and it ruins all of that. When you deploy that kind of mindset, and here's the key, guys. Okay, if you're going to write one thing down, it's this: where you have something to lose. That's all you require. Okay, a man who's young has nothing to lose. He has nothing to bargain with. There's that quote which says, if you want to enter a negotiation, first you must have something to bargain with. Well, most young men have nothing to bargain with. What can you offer? Oh, I'm good fun. I've got great banter. I can chat. I've got good chat. Like, I've got good game. Like, these aren't tradable commodities. Okay? And although you can't be like, I've got a nice house, you should be with me. Like, it does. People don't say that. But under the surface, that shit is kind of happening, okay? And a woman will weigh that up. When she meets you, it will be very much, she'll figure things out over time. Do I find him attractive? What's his frame like? Is he healthy? Is he hygienic? Okay, he's a grown man. I'm going to give him a date. I'm going to give him a chance, okay? Now I'm finding out a little bit more about him. He's wearing different clothes on the next date. He's wearing different shoes. Okay, that means he's got money. This is how these girls think. Where did he take me on the date? How much did he spend? What card did he get out? Oh, it's a black card. Wow, shit. He's got like $1 million in the bank. It's just little things like this, right? And then she'll go back to your house. Oh, he's got a really nice house. If she's liking what she's seeing, well, suddenly she wants a piece of that. Like, that's a bargaining tool. She starts thinking, okay, my youth, my sex appeal, the mating rights to myself, that is now worth the trade-off of what this guy can bring to the table, what he can offer. It's a very good, he's got some bargaining chips. Yours might get to a point where you're either equal to or above what she can offer, which isn't that hard, okay? Like, it isn't that hard to beat what a woman can offer. In the modern era, women seem to think that just, a vagina is worth 50 million. And it's like, it's not. There's too many of them for it to be that expensive. And they don't last that long. So it's, it's a little bit silly. Like, it doesn't look that good for too long. So some of them have this mindset, but once you get past a certain threshold point, you will just obliterate what a woman can offer you, because as successful as she is, as intelligent as she is, we value sex appeal and beauty like up here. Okay, it's just the way of the world is what we value. She values like what we can bring to the table by way of maturity, assets, the value that we can provide, our intelligence levels. We're lucky in that sense because we get to bring more to the table. We're not just valued on he's good looking, he's got a nice body, he's the one. Like, there's other qualities, right? And once you get to a point where you have something that is worth more than what she can bring to the table, which, like I said, with a little bit of effort, isn't that hard to do, well, suddenly you're in the power position, and now she wants you, right? And this is the position that more guys need to get to, because it's not over the line yet. There's more of a mentality thing that you need to deploy, because you can be a wealthy guy, you can have great assets, you can be in a great position in life, you can still be a simp. There's plenty. Meek Mill said a line once, a Billy don't make you real. I think he said that, okay? And that's a big problem with a lot of guys, okay? They make money and they're like, hey, Chris, I'm not getting girls. What's the problem? It's like, you still got to be like a switched on guy, okay? So if you make anything too easy, people don't really want him, right? And it's especially true with women. Like, you can have all these assets and she's like, oh, I really like him. If you then make it too easy and you're like, okay, yeah, come home with me. Okay, let's have sex, first date. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough, but I truly believe that it needs to be somewhat more of a value switch, the way in which women do it to men, because, and again, here's the key to the video, as I said earlier, the key here is now that you've got something to lose, okay, you've got something that you don't want somebody to come into and derail. You don't want somebody to just turn up with their beauty, because beauty is dangerous, as we all know, and start writing checks that you can't afford. Suddenly mortgage, marriage, 3-4 kids. So you're going, I've got a lot of money here. I've got decent assets. I'm a high level man. I'm in great shape. Like, I'm a valuable asset. It's normal that women will want you. Women will want to be with you because it's almost clout. It's almost a status thing. It's like, hey, look at my prize over here. Look at the guy that I managed to pull. How great am I? And suddenly that kind of dynamic of, I want a woman who's beautiful with a fat ass so that I can show her off to my friends, that switches. Oh, I've got a guy, have you seen his house? Oh my God, look at his car. Like, she starts to fucking shove that in her friends' faces, okay? And once you realize that, you start to go, hey, I don't want to be used here. I don't want to fuck up. Now, who does that sound similar to? A beautiful woman that's like, he only wants me for sex. He only wants me for bragging rights. He only wants me so that you can have beautiful kids. Like, they feel used. Well, when you get in a position where you actually have shit, you meet a woman, she starts talking to you, she finds you attractive, etc. And she might be like, do you want to come back to mine? Or you should take my number. And because you're in a defensive position now, because you're more on the back foot, because you're like, whoa, hang on a minute. I don't know you. You could be crazy. You don't say this, but you're thinking in the back of your mind, I make a lot of money, are you trying to get pregnant off me? It becomes a real concern. That dynamic alone, that mentality alone, changes the way that you operate. It changes the way that you speak. It changes the language that you use. It changes the perceived power that you are now going into that kind of engagement with. So there'll be certain circumstances where you'll do something that's completely out of the norm, i.e., come back to mine tonight. She might say something like, can I come back to yours? Or, oh, I thought I was staying at yours. And you're like, not yet. Like, I've only just met you. I've only met you twice. Like, I don't know you yet. I don't trust you like that. Like, I don't know, anything could happen. And now she's thinking, shit, this guy's scarce. Like, he's not willing to just sleep with anybody. you know, it's going to take more of a challenge. Here we go. I'm going to have to convince him that I am worth his time. Okay, that requires more than just beauty and sex appeal. Now she's going to have to actually like peel back the layers, and she's looking at you and thinking, he's a high level guy. He wants more. He wants me for more than just my beauty, my sex appeal, just whatever, because he's just turned it down. No guy's ever done that to me. But here's the thing. You're not doing it because it's game. You're not doing it because it's a clever little trick to play and she'll want me more. You're doing it legitimately because you've got shit to lose. And that's the fucking golden goose, guys. Having something to negotiate with. That is the golden goose. Okay, that is what you require in life. If you're going into interactions with women and they're getting turned off quick, I don't mean this to offend anybody, but I'd be very shocked if you were super rich, successful, you've been through a lot. I would assume quite young, maybe, normal standard 9-to-5 job, which is fine. Everyone's on their journey trying to get somewhere. I've been there when I was young. You're looking for every opportunity, like sex is on the cards. Oh, I think she wants me. Whereas when you get in a position where you hold all the power, it's complete opposite. Like, you go, of course she wants me. Now I have to look out for red flags. Now I'm concerned. Oh, I know what you want. I've seen this before. Like, you become the woman. You become the hot chick. And you're going, well, hang on, lady. I don't care if you're a 10 out of 10. Who have you been with before? Like, you don't ask these questions, but you know what I mean? You kind of do your little digging. And you start, like, assuming, like, you might ask around, is she okay? Like, who is she? And whatever. You might know a friend of hers, like, who has she dated before? Oh, he's quite a low-level guy. Like, do you know what I mean? She's obviously got low standards. Oh, she cheated on her ex before. I'm not interested. You have to have that red flag, because you could end up fucking marrying this woman. Obviously I don't ever recommend marriage, but you could end up having kids with this woman, for example, by accident, because she popped a fucking pin through the hole, popped a pinhole through a condom with the wrapper on. Easily done. You now have a child with her. As soon as she gets that bag, she's gone. Oh, he's paying child support. See ya. Like, you have real concerns now. You can't fuck up with just anybody. Like, you have to wrap up. You have to pull out. Like, you have to do your grand work. Like, you can't just sleep with anybody. It has to be women that you can trust that also have something to lose in return. That level of value, that level of concern for your own well-being and protection of what you have makes you so fucking valuable. And as soon as you become that level of scarce, your options go through the roof. When I was at school, perfect example, I was at school, year 7, first year of secondary school, or what do you call it in America? I can't remember now, like middle school or whatever's above that. I was 11, 12 years old, okay? Probably an easier way of doing it in the future. And I remember my mum wouldn't let me have a girlfriend because she was like, you're too young, you're stupid, you should be focused on your studies. If you do all this fucking girlfriend, boyfriend shit and you're holding hands, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, grow up. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. So I would get asked out by girls all the time, and I was like, nah, I just don't want you. And I was too ashamed to say, because my mum won't let me. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit soft. You don't want to admit that. But that was the real reason. So it ended up becoming a challenge, because even like the hottest girls in the year that everybody wanted, in the year above me, like the even hotter ones, I was like, nah, sorry, I can't. Like, I really wanted to, but I was like, no, I'm not interested. To the point that girls started wondering, shit, is he gay? Right? And then they wanted to spend more time with you, in terms of like, not because you're gay, but they were like, I want to figure this guy out. I want to know more about him. Like, why is he rejecting everybody? Like, why doesn't he want me? Like, every other guy wants me. I can have anybody I want except him. And they started asking more, and they started getting desperate, and they started like coming over and just like holding my hand and being like, oh, pretend we're together, it'll make everyone else jealous. It was fucking weird. And I realized that when I was like 11 years old. So throughout my life, I've had these experiences. I was lucky because I was a good looking guy in my youth. I think that's, really useful to have that time with women so that I know what's coming in the future. And it led to this scenario now where I know that having that value, having that switch, having something, if I had said yes to one girl, she's got bragging rights over everybody else in that sense. Okay, and if you're the guy in the future, let's go to adult mode here, not just high school shit. If you're the guy with the nice assets, you're the guy with the good job, the status, the tall, good-looking one, for example. Some girls are into that sort of shit, who's in shape, and other girls are like, damn, he's really, have you seen her boyfriend? He's really handsome, like he's actually a model, like some of them love that shit. But it comes in many different ways. Like, it can be the valuable guy. Oh, this guy has great assets. This guy's well known in the area. He's a bit of a face. Like, there's so many different ways to skin that cat. But it's that status thing. As soon as girls have, do you know what I mean? As soon as they have something to gain from it that they don't currently have, which is a big part of this, they become the chasees, if you would. Like, they're the ones chasing after you. And it just changes the whole dynamic. And a lot of guys don't realize this. They're like 21 years old and they're chasing after the women and they're like, I'm going to get her eventually. I'm going to break those walls down. She's going to want me. And it's like there's no incentive for her there. Like, she already outranks you. She already has everything that you don't have. Like, you're the prize. She's given up too much and she's not getting a lot in return. It's pretty much just a business negotiation. Like I said earlier, and you should walk away with this statement, write it down or something. If you go into a negotiation, you need something to bargain with. Okay? If you're going to negotiate, first you need something to bargain with. What do you have to bargain with, guys? Like, be honest with yourself. Take some self-accountability. Write it down. What do you have to bargain with? As soon as you have something to bargain with, guess what? You no longer want to bargain. That makes you powerful. It gives you options. You're now in control. Male advantage. I nailed that. Check out the Male Advantage paperback, ebook, and audiobook using the links below.